Hi everyone, welcome to Fat to Thin Senior RNY. I'm Raven. I was 76 years old when I had gastric bypass surgery on December 16, 2019. Last month I talked about the new year, 2022. Hope is positive. In this vlog I'll be talking about weight gain, exercise, and intermittent fasting. If you're curious, please continue to watch and join me on this journey. I had gained 6 pounds. 6 pounds! I was, and still am, doing intuitive eating. I was intuitively eating cookies, potato chips, fried chicken, fried fish, etc., etc., etc. I wasn't eating a lot of food. I've had gastric bypass, my stomach holes, but a little amount. I was eating it often, though, like all day long. I was not 1 ounce of it, or very little of it, was fruit or veggies. So I gained 6 pounds. It's really not the right way to eat, and I knew it, as everybody else does. I was in a panic. I was depressed. I was angry at myself. I did it to me for what reason? At one point, I was so fat that I was in a wheelchair because I couldn't walk anywhere, I couldn't go anywhere, I couldn't stand up, I couldn't do anything. I had to be over 300 pounds. Had to be. I don't really know because I didn't have a scale. I got rid of my scale. It broke or whatever. It wasn't. I wouldn't use it. I don't even remember even having one. I think I lost around 75 pounds before finally asking for surgery because I was like 230, 245 or something like that when I asked for surgery. It took me around 25 years to lose and keep that 75 pounds off, those approximate 75 pounds that I lost. I figured when I asked for surgery, I didn't have another 25 years to blow on that kind of a thing. During that 25 years, I used different methods and diets. Now, I didn't go on a diet and stay on it for, a couple of days. I'd go on a diet and stay on it for 6 months or a year at a time to see, to give it a full shot, okay? All of them worked to some degree. At some point, they stopped working. I don't know why, they just stopped working. I think my body got used to that level of fat and said, okay, that's it, that's enough, whatever. But I was seriously upset at that 6 pound weight gain. I went through a lot in order, gastric bypass is not an easy thing to do. You think, oh, I go in and have an operation, I'll come out, I'll be skinny. In fact, I asked the doctor while I was still in the hospital, the day after the operation, why am I still fat? Of course, I was joking, but you should have seen the look on his face. At any rate, that's the way it went, I was upset. I was upset at that weight gain. I went through a lot. The nausea, the dumping syndrome, the ending up in the hospital twice from dehydration, the whole deal. I went through a lot. It's not just get cut open, taken out, and you're fine the next day. So with the 6 pounds, I looked at how did I really lose the weight after the operation. Actually, it probably was that 3 months of liquid diet I was on. I was not ready to do a liquid diet, but I went back to intermittent fasting because before the operation, when I was losing weight, I was using intermittent fasting. I wasn't losing a lot of weight because now that I look at it, I was eating stupid stuff even then. But I did lose weight, and I consistently lost weight. Right now I'm doing the 14-10, 14 hours of fasting, 10 hours of eating. I'm back down to where I was before the gain. I lost that 6 pounds. Hallelujah. Really. Because, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe the stuff I was saying to myself for gaining that 6 pounds. It's amazing how well we can sabotage ourselves, you know? It's just amazing. I mean, I don't play that game about, oh, let's see how much I can eat today, you know? No, I don't do that. I've been walking now for about a week without walking sticks or a cane. Now you consider, way back when I started this journey to lose weight, I was in a wheelchair because I was too fat to move. At some point, I was using walking sticks in order to help me stay upright because I was unbalanced, totally unbalanced. Everything hurt, you know, that kind of a thing. I use a cane when I went to places where it would be unseemly to use walking sticks. But I've always had a cane. I still have a cane. And I've actually lost a lot of canes. Especially when I found that I would lose enough weight that I really could dispense with that cane, except that mentally I wasn't prepared to because I had this tendency to tip sideways. And I was afraid of falling. Or how would I get back up? You know, I was too fat to get back up by myself. I ended up losing a really nice red hurricane. That way I put it down and walked away and forgot about it until I got home. And I think I left it in a shopping cart at the supermarket. So, you know, that was gone. On a lot of occasions, I would leave it and then go back and get it, you know, because it would be in a store that was like a local store or something like that. And somebody saw it and turned it in, you know. But anyway, so this time, after I walked away from the walking stick, you know, a couple of times, I said, wait a minute, the same thing is going on. I need to trust myself, trust my body, and go walking at least once during the daytime, not too far, without it, to see how I feel. So now I've been going almost a week walking. I walk day and night without assistance. I find that I'm not tipping over sideways. And I got to say, it was scary in the beginning to do that, since I've been so off balance for all these years and years and years. I mean, we're talking 25 years, easily. 25 years I've been walking with a cane or walking sticks or living with a wheelchair because I was so fat, you know. Years ago, I found the 10-minute exercise rule. At that time, 10 minutes was about all I could handle walking. I mean, and it was a push to walk for 10 minutes. But I made sure I did it at least once a day, even if I walked in the house. If I got on the phone, which was the easiest way to do it. When I got on the phone, it was the easiest way to do it. I would walk throughout the house and talk on the phone and just walk back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You know, make sure, because it would take my mind off of how much my feet hurt, how much my legs hurt, how much my back hurt. And doing 10 minutes of walking twice a day at that time was unthinkable. Absolutely unthinkable. Now I walk for an hour. Walk for an hour and say, well, maybe let's go around this way too. What the heck, make it an hour and 10 minutes, whatever. It's not that I plan to walk an hour. I just get out there and I start walking and I find that an hour has gone by, you know. I don't know. I think it's kind of meditative for me. And now I'm beginning to think, I'm looking at weightlifting. Now, I used to like to do weightlifting when I was in college, and I had free reign at the gym at that time. And I've got weights. I mean, they're not heavy. They're little smart bells, 2 pounds and 3 pounds. And I've got a lot of different, at least 3 different types of exercise bands, all collecting dust. Very nicely collecting dust. Fortunately, they are too small to hang clothes on, like the treadmill I had at one point. But I'm looking at that. I'm thinking it's time for me to do some weightlifting, even with 2 pounds or 1 pound can of spaghetti sauce, to tighten up my my raven wings. And to feel better. I mean, I've been lifting furniture and things a lot lately in the last week or two, and I find that I am not nearly as strong as I used to be. And that things hurt now that didn't used to hurt. And I think the only reason is because I'm out of shape, just totally out of shape. But you should know also that diet and exercise isn't everything in life. You should see my other channel. That's got a lot of everything else, That's RV Adventures with Raven and Rowley. Although it felt like it for years and years, while I was trying to lose all of that weight, exercise and diet isn't everything. It did feel like it though. And now that I'm thinner, I don't concentrate on diet and exercise pretty much at all. I just do it, which is a lot different attitude. Diet and exercise just makes the rest of your life more enjoyable. And it makes exercise fun. I mean, because it depends how you think about exercise. Exercise could be dancing, it could be running, could be swimming, could be bicycling, could be walking, could be climbing trees, climbing mountains, anything, absolutely anything that gets your body moving. And to call it exercise gives it a bad name, especially dancing. Dancing is never exercise, as far as I'm concerned. At any rate, the Rowley report. Rowley was really sick. I got home about a week ago Saturday from the WRTR in Quartzsite, Arizona. That's Women's Rubber Tramp Rendezvous. I went to bed early when I came back because it was 6 hours of intense driving. And so I ordered some pizza and ate and went to bed. Rowley woke me up almost every hour. He jumped up and down on my body, which is, he doesn't do that. He was really, really desperate. He was jumping up and down. He wanted to go out. I got up and I let him out. I want you to know that this is very unusual behavior for him because he's really a very laid-back dog, At one point in the morning, I realized that he had defecated on the kitchen floor. Wasn't the carpet, hallelujah. He's never messed in the house before, at all, ever, never. I realized by the morning walk that he was passing almost pure water instead of feces, right? No fever, no vomiting, just really, really, really bad diarrhea. So I looked online, Google it, and it said it could be stress from the ride that he's like that. It was a bad 6-hour drive. I was white knuckling it the whole way. Bad gas, backfiring in the car, etc. The oil meter kept going down to 0. Oil pressure meter kept going down to 0, and then it would pop back up again, and I'd be, 400 miles from home, wherever it was. Anyway, Google said it could be something he picked up in the desert, some disease. Or it could be COVID for dogs because there were a lot of dogs around. Or something really bad like kidney failure or poisoning. It's really what you want to think about, right? They also recommended that I watch him to see how he's reacting and be prepared to get him to the vet. Well, other than the diarrhea, he was fine. He was eating, he was drinking water, he wanted to play with his ball in the house, wanted to go outside and walk, wanted to run around, but he had very bad diarrhea. He was still willing to eat, which was a good thing. So I made white rice and scrambled eggs. He thought he had hit the jackpot, let me tell you. He never missed a meal. At one point, he did ask for his meal early, which was surprising because there are days where normally he'll eat regularly for 2, 3, 4 days and then he'll skip a meal. Otherwise, he's not really food motivated, except possibly cheese. I could probably get him to do anything for cheese, you know. So I made an electrolyte mixture for dogs. 4 cups of water, 1 tablespoon of honey, raw honey, and 1 teaspoon of salt. A friend gave me a syringe from her dog. Her dog has diabetes. And I took the needle out of it and squirted this mix into his mouth every 15 minutes to half hour for 3 days, at least, so that he would not be dehydrated. I've also added extra water to the rice and egg mixture, so it was kind of soupy. And of course, I left fresh water for him. Dehydration is not a good way to die. Let me tell you, it's very, very painful. Very painful. After a few days, I know that because I ended up in the hospital for 3 days getting electrolytes and water pumped into my body because I was dehydrated. And that was within the first 3 months of having gastric bypass surgery. And I was dehydrated because I was throwing up all the time. In fact, it was ridiculous how much I was throwing up. And I couldn't drink enough water. I couldn't keep it down. And so that's not a good way to go, let me tell you. After a few days, I started adding his regular wet and dry food to the rice and egg mixture. And during that whole time, he wanted to play. He wanted me to throw the ball. He wanted to go out for walks. And today he's fine. There's no diarrhea. Nothing's going on. There's no change in his attitude at all. It probably was stress from the ride, because I was stressed and he was stressed on top of that. He's not really fond of driving in the car anyhow. So last month, did you resolve to do something? I mean, you know, it was New Year's. You know, what do people do? Make resolutions, right? How's it going so far? How did you decide how to achieve your goals? Are you on the way? It's going good so far, right? So anyway, follow the rest of my life weekly at 5 p.m. Pacific time on RV Adventures with Raven and Rowley on YouTube. The link is below. And thank you for watching and listening. And thanks for taking the extra step and subscribing. See you Friday, March 4th, 2022. I've got to keep these going so that at the very least I know that I'm progressing. I'm keeping myself on the straight and narrow. Otherwise, you know, if I didn't say anything to anybody, I could sit around and get fat again and nobody'd know, right? So take care of you and yours, and blessed be. And don't forget to take pictures of yourself while you're losing.